I'm praying for her to be found alive soon. I just want her alive, because how is it possible to go missing on base, on a military base? How is that possible? They promised to protect every single soldier like if it was their son and daughter. And yet, they harassed her. Yet they say no soldier left behind. Yet they're leaving my sister behind, because clearly after 2 months, they're trying their best to find her. After 2 months, after 60-some days.
Vanessa Guillen, I wanted to give you guys a couple of updates with regards to the story, and then I want to share with you another situation that happened about a month ago with a soldier that was on this base. He's now deceased. So now the military, or the CID, the investigators, they're conceding that they suspect foul play.
We're told investigators now consider her disappearance criminal, saying they fear foul play is involved.
The family attorney, Natalie, she stated that there was, or she's being told that there's no cameras in that part of the base where the incident occurred.
So they said that they didn't have any cameras that day. I find that odd.
Family attorney told us that investigators that they met with this morning said there are no cameras on that part of the base where Vanessa went missing.
On ABC 13, what I thought was pretty interesting, it says here, the attorney for Guillen family, Natalie, said she discovered at least 2 alleged incidents of harassment. A superior walking in on Guillen in the shower, or on Guillen showering, and another verbally assaulting Guillen with vulgar remarks in Spanish. It says here that Natalie was worried about how this case might turn out. She said Vanessa told loved ones she didn't want to report the harassment out of fear of retaliation.
There's so many gaps and holes in what we learned today that I am going to demand a congressional investigation for this family. We want to know what happened and who is covering up for who, and why are they covering up?
So Sylvia Garcia, which is the U.S. representative for Texas, she was elected in, she's a House representative, November 2018. She's the first Latina ever to represent Texas, 29th congressional district. Now, they had like this little press thing after the meeting, because the meeting was with Fort Hood officials to discuss the disappearance or the search for Vanessa.
Well, you know, I thought, as the attorney said, we made some progress. We got some answers to some of our questions. We got a timeline, a breakdown of what happened that day in terms of where she was and what she did. What we failed to get was the exact TikTok, the exact times of some of these things.
This next part I thought was a little bit interesting, because she says, you know, there's still some discrepancies. We got this time stuff going on, but there's also this discrepancy with the family, what they said they saw or they believe happened that day with Vanessa, and then what the military is saying happened that day with Vanessa. And I'm thinking the discrepancy was because I thought it was in one of the recent videos that I just did that the family was saying that she wasn't even working that day or something like that.
There's still maybe a few discrepancies that we need to resolve between what the family remembers happened that day and what the CID investigation is saying.
Now, for the next story, it's Brandon Scott Rosecrans. He was found deceased, shot, dead. I believe it was 13 miles from the Fort Hood base, according to one of the reports that I read.
Police say Rosecrans was murdered near Fort Hood, Texas on May 18th.
That young man was taken just 4 days before his 28th birthday.
Rosecrans was a quartermaster assigned to the 3rd Armed Brigade Combat Team, 1st Cavalry Division. He was serving in the United States Army at the time of his death. Now, so it's about 13 miles from the base. I believe police received a call around 10 a.m. They go to the scene, and well, from one of the reports that I read, Brandon is deceased with a gunshot wound, and his vehicle allegedly is in a different location on fire.
The family shared with me what a difference the Army made in his life. He went in as a young man, and he was turning into a marvelous adult, responsible young man.
Brandon did have some awards and decorations. He had a National Defense Service Medal and the Army Service Ribbon. From what I've seen online, there hasn't really been any updates to the story. No suspects, nobody's been caught, and it's just been kind of quiet from what I've seen.
Brandon now peacefully at rest. The family says their mission now is justice.
I want people, when they see this, to remember that we are a family and Brandon is a person but we're going to fight till we find who got our son.